Well, we're in the day swim. What's that? It's lunchtime, 1 o'clock-ish. That's why I were in the trucks, so quiet. So, 3 rods out, 2 out at a distance where I'm at the bottom of the drop off. So about 60-70 yard casts puts me at that along this bank here. 2 kilos of bait, minimum. Probably 2.5 actually. Right hand rod, just off the island, bottom of the deep water, ½ kilo. Dinner time. So it's Monday. We don't start here until 10 o'clock on a Monday, so I didn't really rush. I've got my social this week, so I'll probably be staying there doing a couple of nights, so I don't want to sleep outside every night of the week this week. Kill me. I can keep my eye on that area down there in the bay, although I won't be able to watch too much. There's one guy in the bay, a couple of guys over there, perhaps another one floating around somewhere that I've seen. So there's a few lads down here. This is nice and out of the way, and it's right on the end of the wind, so yeah. It's a really large amount of bait. Try and pull the fish in. Simple as that. I think there's a good chance I'll get a bite. Had to spawn all the bait out with this. I think that's a medium one, isn't it? It's not the large one. So it's a handful of bait every time, and I did about 25 of them. There you go. Fish rolling up there, you see. I've seen a couple of shows up there. When I was standing over there looking, because I've been here for a while. I mean, I got here about 10:30 and it's now 1 o'clock, so I've been here a while. I walked up and down this bank a lot. Kept my eye on the bay and I was moving around. I left my kit in the channel to start with. But last week, you know, all those fish topping right in front of this swim. Yeah, literally down here. Yeah, all over this area here. So I just thought, you got to give it a go, haven't you? I mean, obviously, features here, you know, the islands and the margins and everything. And the margins are extensive because, of course, they're slopes, mostly long slopes. But I think this is one of the few waters that I've been to where I can honestly say that bait is the one. But the best feature you can have out there is 2 kilos of bait. You know, or more. So weather's good. Can't complain about the weather. This time of year, this is good. This lake almost always has a wind on it. Oh, it's southerly blowing. That looks great, doesn't it? It'll be interesting to see how things go. Because you can never be completely sure. Well, it's coming up to 3:30, so we're getting near that time when my eyes will not be leaving the water and I'll be watching it very closely to see any signs at all. The thing about this water is you do need clues, especially when the wind is always pushing south. Well, the weather has improved no end, as you can see. There's a warm southwesterly coming in. So I've seen a couple of fish roll way out there, but within 50 yards or so of where all that bait is bombed out. So, you know, I much prefer to use a catapult. I get a better spread. I know where it's all gone. Spawning's, yeah. You know, but it's a great way of getting a lot of bait out quickly at distance when it's, you know, out of catapult range, which it is for me. Where that duck is now, that's where I'm fishing. I must admit I was tempted to fish the back of the island from the island swim next door to Jim on the point, but I've really fancied coming back down here and fishing this swim in that area. And after the last few weeks, seeing the fish rolling over here, you know, you've got to give it a try, haven't you? I've yet to really give that island swim a good go. Well, him, all of them from him, in fact, so their time will come. Well, you can probably see by the light that we're going to get some rain soon. Next couple of hours. Heavy rain too, apparently, for a few hours. So I'll be hunkering down a bit. I'm getting a lot of the tackle packed away, ready to go, so that I don't have to do it in the rain. So the umbrella's up because the rain's here, and it's on time as well. Fish have been rolling now for about half an hour. Not huge amounts of fish, but steady activity of rolling, mostly out of range, right out in the middle there, but some on the back of the island, first island there. Well, the rolling stopped, so that probably means they're getting their heads down. So bite time really is the next hour or so. Not the heavy rain we was expecting anyway, just light drizzle. Well, it's about 7 o'clock, so I'll start slowly packing away the kit. The rods will be the last thing out. There'll be just enough light left for me to get the bait out. Well, everything's packed away. It's nearly dark, not quite, but nearly. So I'll give it a little bit longer, and then I'll put the bait in, and then get myself home, get a good sleep, well, hot meal, good sleep, and be back tomorrow morning, hopefully. Well, we're back. It's 7 o'clock. I've been here for just over an hour, getting all sorted. As you can see, back of the wind. Last night the wind veered just before I left to a southeasterly. More of a southeasterly than a southeasterly. So it's still really pushing from the south. And I got over on that corner and the wind was blowing into it beautifully, and I thought, when I got down into the bay there, the wind was blowing into that nicely, but it's not actually blowing from the main lake into the bay at all, as you can see from here. It's just blowing across. So I stood in the channel swim for a good 20 minutes watching, didn't see a thing. If I'd seen a fish roll, I would have stayed there. Seen a couple of fish roll at range, there's one just there now. I was very tempted to go into the island and fish towards the island, but the wind is going to swing back to the southwest shortly, and the rain is due. Well, it's spitting and spotting at the moment a little bit, but the rain is due soon, and it's due to rain all day. Well, I think we timed it perfectly. I literally just sat down with my first coffee, and the rain's morning. And it's coming down as heavy as they said it would. So the wind, like I say, is sort of due to swing, but there's not going to be a huge amount of wind today anyway. So as you can see, I'm back on 2 rods. I've cut down on all my kit. Didn't bring my big kit bag with me. Just got everything into that and that bucket there. Bait, catapults, everything I need. I've even got some spare rig tying material, just in case. So I thought it was worth a try, you know, this area, putting a decent amount of bait in and just see if it works. Of course, not catching a fish doesn't necessarily mean that all that bait hasn't pulled the fish in. It just means we ain't caught one. And there you go, back of the island again, straight out of the water. They're there all the time pretty much. They seem to be in that area where it's the back of the island's not out of range necessarily, but as you get further out and this way, it becomes very difficult to put a bait on them. I'm a bit annoyed with myself really, you know, because I really should have been in this swim last week, not this week, you know. Last week I was bivvied up over there, wasn't I? You can't bivvy up on this swim, so I think I'm going to have to start following my nose a little bit more. Well, I've just been out and repositioned the baits, so you know, within about an hour or so I'll be thinking about packing away and moving. Rain's supposed to sort of stop around 12 o'clock, so that'll give me a chance to get over to the first island swim, stash the kit there, and then have a quick walk around the bay and the channel area and have a look see. But I've got another plan, but we're going to give this at least another hour. So we're in the first island swim, and as you can see the noise from the roads are a lot louder. Fish rolled, big fish, big dark fish, possibly common for old back of the island there. So I basically decided that I wanted to aim for this side of the drop off from the island, this edge. So a couple of baits out at about 80 yards or so. It's 100 yards, 90 to 100 yards back of the island, so about 80 yards at the front of the drop off here, and I spawned 2 kilos of 18 mils over it. I wanted to catapult them, that's why I bought 18s. Couldn't get the distance, wind, etc. So I just thought, right, get it out. And I was real tight. So basically, if you look at that crane and you look at that tree in the water, they were my left and right markers. And the spawn obviously put it into the clip, and it hit the clip most times, and of course I stepped back a couple of yards to get a few short, etc, etc. So really happy with a nice tight area bait, 2 rods straight on it. Amazingly, both casts went straight where I wanted them first time. Okay, time to sit back, and you know what, I'm going to try and have a kip. I think it's going to be difficult though. All that noise was coming from right behind that swim that I was in. So I'm glad I'm not there, because they were there last night making a hell of a racket. It is a shame about the noise, isn't it? It is what it is. So I do feel that I've got bait and rigs in an area where I really should get a run. Of course, pushing it that extra 20 yards, 30 yards into that area, and to the right, of course, you know, but I can't spawn 100 yards. 100 yard cast with these rods is my limit, and around 80-90 yards is the limit with my spawn. I don't have the back for it. So that's why I chose carefully where I was going to put the bait. So I'm happy with that. Really should get a run. But you never know. You know? You can never tell, can you? But everything I'm doing has worked before, so yeah, let's hope it works again. Despite the great weather, it has been noticeably quieter as far as rolling fish are concerned today, but let's see what happens later in the day. It's the afternoon and evening that's the better period here. Well, I gave up the idea of a kip pretty quickly. I really feel like I should get a run, I really do, you know. Bloody things have been rolling out the back of this island and around the front of this island here. All yesterday evening, you know, here and there. This morning, the only place I saw them. The wind has swung, as you can see. and it's now coming from the southwesterly as forecast. Next time we get a northerly, I will be in that swim though. And if we get an easterly, I'll be in the bay. But on every other wind, I think this place. So important here to keep your eye on the wind. If it's going to blow for more than sort of 5, 6, 7 hours in one direction, i.e. that way or that way, it'd be a good idea to be on that bank. Or in that. Yeah, I think so. Quite obvious over there that there's fish probably in the area, but I didn't spot anything rolling anywhere near the bait, and I certainly didn't get a pickup, so I think we can safely say that Lenny was right. Years and years ago, 2004 or 5, I don't know, sitting there talking to Lenny, and he was piling in the bait for a couple of 3 days. We got talking about it, and he said, well, I'm just trying something out really. I said, what's that? He said, well, the fish aren't here. He said, I've proved myself that they don't want to be there, no matter how much bait you put in. That's come from Lenny Middleton. You know, you thought he'd know that. Well, of course he did, but it's the thing. You know, there's no hard and fast rules ever anywhere really, is there? You never really know. Sometimes you're just in a situation where you think, okay, I can't move, can't do anything, what shall I do? See if I can make something happen. But usually that's putting in bait, isn't it? That's what he was doing. He basically caught 2 or 3 of them. They moved off, but didn't come back. Well, that southwesterly is really pushing through now, isn't it? I think it was definitely a good choice to come in here. And perhaps I should have last night, really. I did stand here for a while. I definitely made the wrong choice. I think had I put that bait in here, I might have had a fish. So, yeah, poor choice, poor decision, poor plan. Well, yeah, the plan was alright, just a poor choice. Yeah, I'll do this sometimes. I'll be stubborn, like I said earlier. We're definitely in the right area now. If we didn't have such a crosswind, I could definitely get to the back of that island without too much trouble, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that my casts were spot on, especially when I was bombing out all that bait, so that's the reason why I decided not to push it too hard. I was just thinking I hadn't seen a fish roll, and one just tweaked straight there, up that bush, and another one out there, right in line with where I've got my bait. Only about 20 yards to the right of my right hand rod. A couple of fish rolled within a few minutes. I really do feel one of those should go off. Look at that for some cloud. As you can see, that wind has really veered to the southwest now. That was where I was last night, over there, on the end of the southwesterly, watching the fish roll, just here. So I'm here tonight. If they start bloody rolling over there, I shall be so annoyed. So 1 or 2 fish rolling back of the island there, 1 or 2 fish here and there, a couple of fish real close to the island as well. Look how dark the water's gone, the colour of the sky. There's some real rain clouds up there, so I think we're going to get some rain anytime soon. We've had some sunshine actually. That's why the chair's been moved. I was sitting in the sun earlier, drying myself out. There you go, that wind's pushing right across the lake now. Lovely. Look how it pushes through this channel here and right to the back of that island. Well, we're all set up. Next few hours. Let's see, what's the time? It's coming up to 3:30. So yeah, definitely the next few hours, next 3-4 hours. Just a nice chunk roll over the right hand rod. It's always good to see that. That makes your confidence rise a little bit. So, you know, like I say, next few hours is the crucial time. I think you need to be here a good few hours before you get the bait in. I've even been thinking about hydrating the baits, wash them out a bit, put them in like that. But yeah, they're drawn to that area, and there's bait there. You know. Well, believe it or not, I've had a kip. Must have been at least half an hour as well. The wind veered right round to the west, and that road just went quiet. Wind blowing the noise away, you see. Now, a few fish topping here and there. Got a lad that's moved in next door for the night. I've told him to crack on. He needs a rod in the water now. So, within the next hour or two, really, should get a run. So at the moment, really, the fish, you'd think they'd be on the feed, what with this weather and everything else. They were a couple of weeks ago, and last week we had all that sunshine. I still managed to get 4 bites. This week, perfect weather. It's much harder. They really aren't showing as much as they have been at all. You know, a few lads have been down and they're not catching. The lad over there, and that's from over there, didn't have anything up until last night. I don't know if he had any this morning or today. But it's tough at the moment. Fish are not coming out so much. It has its mad moments. Hopefully we can catch that right. So getting ready for the evening. Getting all my kit stowed so I don't have to waste any time. And just nip off when I need to. I'll be staying until dark at least. Maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. That lad's moved down into the bay. I wondered if he knew something I had. So I had a quick look down there, couldn't see anything. You never know, they could have snuck in there without me knowing. Yeah. That'd be typical. That's often the case, isn't it? We're chasing them around. We're never quite sure where they are. Unless of course they're obliging and show themselves. Definitely not as many shows tonight. This lake's a lot quieter than it was a couple of weeks ago. That's for sure. Even though the weather's fantastic this week. Crazy, eh? Perhaps they like that sunshine. Well, we're in the final hour. Still hoping that one of those will blast off.